So this is Kim Megan just answering question 2B for the Gazelle challenge. So basically I've got Tracy on the stationary bike just warming up, and obviously our body has a greater need for oxygen when we're exercising. So I'm just going to speak a little about the process in the body of how that requirement is met. So oxygen is carried by hemoglobin stored in red blood cells through the body and distributed to the areas of the body that need it most. So the process in which this happens is we breathe in air through our mouth and nose where there's a gas exchange that takes place there. The air is warmed and is transported down into the lungs where there's another gas exchange that takes place through the alveoli and into the capillaries where there is a air-blood barrier there. So the capillaries then the hemoglobin then picks up that oxygen through the capillary cells, and that hemoglobin, the oxygen, sorry, is then travels through the left side of the heart. It goes via the arterial system throughout the body then, and distributes all the oxygen to where it's needed and drops off the oxygen where it's needed. The deoxygenated blood then travels back to the lungs via the venous system. So it is now lacking in oxygen. It comes back via the right side of the heart down into the lungs where there's a gas exchange that takes place again, and the carbon dioxide is then a byproduct which is then blown out, and the rest of that deoxygenated blood then becomes oxygenated through the lungs and the process happens again. So that's basically how the systems meet that requirement of needing greater oxygen when exercising. Obviously when the intensity of the exercise increases, our heart rate, respiratory rate and need for oxygen increases dramatically. And it will become faster, so our rest rate and our heart rate and everything will become faster when that happens. So when we talk about, just getting the questions here, what's required. So when we talk about two techniques that could be used for monitoring exercise intensity, one of these techniques that we can use is measuring the heart rate. So you can do this by palpating the heart rate, which I'm going to do with Tracy in a minute, or you can use a heart rate monitor. The other way that we can measure exercise intensity is by doing a talk test, so actually speaking to the client, seeing how heavy they're working, whether they can carry out a conversation and whether they can speak in sentences or just one word answers. And then just talking about the main energy systems used. So ATP is the body's usable form of energy. So Tracy would be using two energy systems just for the warm-up that she's completing now. So initially it would be the phosphate energy system, which uses creatine and phosphate, and that would have been just for the very initial phase of her beginning that exercise on the stationary bike, up to about 10 seconds, and then she would have moved into the lactate energy system, which uses glycolysis and a breakdown of glucose to reproduce that ATP for energy, and that would be up to about 3 to 4 minutes of exercise. So that would be the two energy systems that Tracy's using now. So I'm just going to come over now and we'll just check how Tracy's going. How are you feeling, Tracy?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Oh, I can see you doing really well. You seem to be handling the warm-up okay?
Yep.
Yeah,
feels good.
Okay, great. So are you happy for me just to touch you now? I just want to take your check your heart rate.
Yes.
And we just want to see if we're in that zone of the 99 that we're looking forward to 60%.
Sure.
So
No problem.
you're doing really well. Great. So I've just taken Tracy's heart rate there, and she had 40 over a 15-second period, which means that we're up around 120 beats per minute, which is great. So we're just over our what the required heart rate measure, which was 99 for our warm-up. So I can see that you've been nice and warm there. Tracy, thank you.